Have you ever stopped to really think about how your smartphone gets made? With thousands of little parts coming from all over the world, somehow ending up as this perfect device in your hand? Well, the answer is this powerful, invisible force behind almost everything we do. It's called the division of labor, and today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how it literally shapes our entire world.
I mean, think about it. How do we accomplish the truly impossible? Building a skyscraper, curing a disease, planning a mission to Mars. For any one person, that's just a non-starter. It's completely out of reach. So how do we, as a species, actually get this stuff done? Well, the secret isn't just working harder, it's about working smarter, using one of the most powerful organizing principles in all of human history.
Okay, let's dive into this with a simple example. Imagine you have to bake 1,000 cookies, all by yourself, right? You gotta mix the dough, scoop every single cookie, bake a batch, let it cool, package it, and then do that over and over and over again. Now, picture an assembly line. You've got one person who does nothing but mix giant vats of dough. The next person, they just scoop cookies all day long. A third person just manages the ovens, and a fourth handles all the packaging. The final output isn't just a little bit better, it's unbelievably faster. That right there is the simple magic of dividing up the work.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at how you break down any huge job into tiny, manageable pieces. Then, we'll see how you connect all those moving parts into a powerful system. We're going to talk about the incredible gains, all the good stuff, but we'll also be honest about the pains, the downsides. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to build something called the value chain.
All right, first things first. It all starts with deconstruction. Before you can build a really complex machine, you have to understand all its smallest parts. The source material calls these the atomic components of work. This is step one, and honestly, it might be the most important step of all.
And this process has a name: task breakdown. It's basically the art of taking a massive, overwhelming goal and just chopping it up into smaller, doable tasks. Think of it like turning a giant mountain you have to climb into a simple series of steps you can take, one at a time. Now, this brings up a really key question. Just how small do you slice those tasks? That's what we call granularity. If you go with high granularity, you get these tiny, super specific micro tasks. That's your classic car factory assembly line. But if you have lower granularity with bigger chunks of work, that might actually be better for, say, a creative team designing a new video game. It gives them more freedom. It's all about finding that perfect balance for the job at hand.
And what you're left with when you're done are what we call units of work. These are the fundamental building blocks of the whole system. They're the gears, the levers, the circuits. Each one is a small, clearly defined piece of the puzzle that, when you put them all together in just the right way, creates something amazing.
Okay, so now we've got this big pile of perfectly crafted parts. But, a pile of gears isn't a watch. Now comes the really critical part. We need the blueprint. We have to figure out how to connect all of these moving parts into one single coordinated system that actually works.
And this is where the idea of a workflow comes in. It's the journey a single task takes from the very beginning to the very end. It starts as an input, then it gets worked on by the first specialist in task A, who then hands it off to the second specialist for task B, and finally it comes out the other side as the finished output. This is the flow of energy that brings the whole machine to life.
But wait a minute. With all these specialists and all these handoffs, how do you stop things from turning into total chaos? Well, you need a boss, or at least a structure. And that's basically what hierarchy is. It's the framework of oversight and accountability that makes sure everyone knows what they're doing and who they report to. It's kind of like the brain of the system, coordinating all the different parts. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this quote. It just nails it. It says, "Hierarchy orchestrates interdependencies." That's a fancy way of saying it makes sure all the specialists are playing in tune, like a conductor leading an orchestra. Its most important job is to make sure the system doesn't just shatter into a million disconnected pieces. It ensures all that specialization leads to synergy, not just chaos. And the natural result of all this is interdependence. A great way to think about it is like a pro sports team. The quarterback is a specialist, right? But he's totally useless if his offensive line isn't there to protect him. The star receiver is a specialist, but she can't do anything if the quarterback can't get her the ball. Every single player depends on everyone else to succeed. The whole thing becomes this powerful web of mutual reliance.
So, we've gone to all this trouble to break down work, map out workflows, build hierarchies. But why? What's the actual payoff here? Well, now we get to the good part. We get to explore the incredible gains that come from this system, the massive, massive upside of specialization.
And the benefits are just huge. As you can see here, specialization lets people become true experts, like a master chef who's perfected one signature dish. Repetition builds what the source calls instinctive precision. That's when you can do a task perfectly without even thinking about it, like a concert pianist whose fingers just know the music. All of this focus channels energy into one thing, and that leads to absolutely incredible results.
And the ultimate prize for all this hard work? It's one word: efficiency. It's all about getting more done with less. Less time, less effort, less waste. It's about creating a well-oiled machine that churns out amazing results with incredible, predictable precision. And the result is just a massive explosion in what we can achieve. And listen, we're not talking about a 10 or 20% improvement. We are talking about astronomical gains in productivity, the kinds of gains that have literally allowed us to build cities, explore space, and create the entire modern world we live in. The power here is truly transformative.
But a system this powerful doesn't come for free. Of course not. There is always a trade-off.
And now it's time to look at the dark side of the assembly line, because we have to talk about the hidden costs of this system, the very real pains that come right alongside all that intense specialization.
You ever felt like you're stuck in your own little bubble at work? You have no real idea what's happening in other departments? That's compartmentalization. And as this table shows, it can absolutely kill a company's ability to move fast. And that same repetition that builds mastery, well, it can also crush creativity and turn a job into a boring, mindless routine. And if you get too specialized in one little area, you run the risk of becoming obsolete if the world changes and nobody needs your specific skill anymore.
So what this all comes down to is a balancing act. This is the biggest challenge for any organization. How do you get the incredible benefits of having specialized experts without just creating a bunch of disconnected silos where nobody talks to each other? It is like walking a tightrope, and it's a challenge that every single successful company on the planet has to master.
Okay, so we've broken the work down, we've put it back together, we've looked at the good and the bad. Now for our final section, we're going to zoom all the way out and see the big picture, how all these pieces come together to create something of real value. And this is what we call the value chain. Think of it as the entire journey, from raw materials all the way to a finished product in a customer's hands. Each and every step in that chain adds a little more value. It's like a series of master craftsmen, each one adding their own unique skill to create a final masterpiece. It's the process of turning something simple into something truly amazing.
And this quote brilliantly illustrates the ideal. A great modern organization, it's not a rigid, lifeless machine. No, it's a living network of smart, specialized people. That's the differentiated intelligence, all working together towards a shared purpose. And you know what? That shared purpose? That's the secret sauce. That's the glue that holds the entire system together and turns a group of individuals into an absolutely unstoppable team.
And all this brings us to a really mind-bending question about the future. For centuries, our value as humans has been tied to our specialized skills. But what happens when AI can do our specialized jobs better, faster, and cheaper than we ever could? In a world full of intelligent machines, what's going to be left for us to do? What will become the uniquely human zone of specialization? Seriously, think about it. The answer to that question is going to define the future of work for all of us.